host, Kevin Berrier, and welcome to 5 Dubs Marketing Pros, where we highlight awesome brands and the stories behind them, and maybe just maybe geek out on all things marketing. All right, good morning, and welcome to Maximizing Advertising Sales through News Media Readership Insights. My name is Kevin Berrier, and I'm the Marketing and Advertising Director of the MDDC Press Association and MDDC Advertising Services, and I will be your data Sherpa today as we explore the demographics of news media readers, the impacts of news media on their purchasing behavior, and strategies to enhance your advertising sales. So my dream of dreams here today is that you leave feeling equipped to have real-world, data-driven answers to the question of, does anyone even read news media anymore? So the insights discussed today are vital in an ever-changing media landscape. It enables us to tailor our advertising approaches for better impacts for our advertisers. So I want to jump right in. There'll be a lot of data presented here today, so a lot of numbers and explanations on how these data points can be used as arrows in your quiver when talking to businesses about news media advertising solutions. So let's get started. So let's dive into the demographics of the news media readership, and I'm going to share a visual for you. For those that are watching this on YouTube, you can see the visual. For those that are listening to this anywhere where you get your podcasts, I will make sure that I'm talking about what's being shown on the screen. So in terms of demographics of news media readership, it's a really crucial aspect for any advertising sales strategy. Understanding who reads the news, their lifestyle and preferences can significantly impact how we approach advertising sales. So our 2023 Readership Survey provided us with a detailed picture of our news media audience. And a key finding is the diversity of age, and we'll talk about that in a second, but a notable trend is the concentration in the more affluent brackets. For instance, 46.27% of our readers report an income of at least $75,000 annually, which is a significant demographic that has substantial spending power. When you look at age, from an age standpoint, our readership actually spans a broad spectrum. Now, first thing to call out in true form, about 50% of news media readers that were surveyed are 65 years or older. What you will notice, however, is a notable presence in, the 35 to 54 age group. And that's a demographic known for its purchasing power and stability. This group often is at a stage in life where they're established in their careers, and they're making significant life and financial decisions. So for advertisers, this means that this audience has the potential for higher investments in their products and services. So I want to talk a little bit about media consumption patterns. Okay, so we found that 69.38% of respondents identify themselves as regular readers. They engage with both print and online platforms, which shows a blend of traditional and digital media consumption. So this multi-platform engagement is crucial for advertisers. It means that to effectively reach this audience, advertising campaigns need to be versatile. They need to span across both print and digital medias, and in doing so, you're reaching an audience with tremendous buying power, consistently and with enough frequency for the advertiser's message to be received and understood. So I want to talk a little bit again about that trust in media. Okay, so when we're looking at the trust factor, that's an important aspect within our respondents' purview. So, for example, 60.45% of our respondents say they trust ads in local newspapers, and 50.54% trust ads on local newspaper websites. And that's interesting when you think about it, for those two statistics, because while both have either high levels of trust, or either half of half or more than half, there's a larger percentage of trust in a print publication, and this could be because of people's waning levels of just overarching trust in digital platforms at large, and that could show that that waning trust does extend over into news media websites. But irregardless, news media websites still have 50%, 50.54%. So just over half of everyone say they do trust ads on news media websites. And this trust factor is a goldmine for advertisers. It suggests that ads placed in these trusted mediums are more likely to be viewed favorably by our readers. That leads to higher trust, higher engagement, and higher conversion rates by the readers for your advertisers. So as we dive deeper into these demographics, we start seeing patterns and opportunities. So for advertising sales reps, this information's invaluable. It's not just about reaching a wide audience, it's about reaching the right audience. The data we're discussing today will help you tailor your sales pitches. It'll help you align your advertising strategies with reader preferences, and ultimately it will help you achieve better results. So now that we have a clearer picture of who our readers are, let's dive a little bit into how news media influences their purchasing behavior. This part is pretty darn exciting because it directly ties into how effective advertising in news media can be. So when we're looking at like the influence of news media on buying decisions, one of the most striking findings from the 2023 Readership Survey that our press association conducted is that a significant impact of news media is the significant impact, of news media on buying decisions. 76.44%, over 76% of respondents say they have either considered making or have made purchases using news media, seeing advertisements in the publication. So what does that mean for advertisers? 76.44% of respondents, have either considered or made buying decisions, because of seeing an ad in the publication. It means that a well-placed, well-crafted ad in news media can directly influence consumer behavior and drive sales. When you look at, again, the trust factor in advertising, trust plays a pivotal role in this influence. Again, our survey shows that readers place a high level of trust in advertising within news media. 60% plus trust ads in local print newspapers, and 50+% in local newspaper websites. And it's clear that news media is not just a platform for information, but it's also a trusted source for making purchasing decisions. And this trust is a powerful tool for advertisers. It suggests that ads in these mediums are more likely to be perceived as credible and reliable. It increases the likelihood of influencing purchasing decisions because of that. It also gives a great respectful challenge to any business that may object with the idea that there is a lack of trust in news media, which simply isn't true, at least at a local community or regional level. And the numbers don't lie. And while there always will be two sides of thinking when it comes to trust and distrust in news media organizations still own a lot of the trust and credibility in the communities that they serve, and more so compared to other marketing mediums. Only 15.59% say they trust Google advertising. Only 13.22% say they trust social media advertising. Google ads and social media ads combined don't even break the 30% mark. Whereas again, 60% say they trust their local newspaper, and 50% say they trust their local newspaper website. So when you're looking at big tech compared to local newspaper or news media in terms of trust, there really is no comparison. Now, that said, as a marketer, I'm not saying that Google advertising and social media advertising do not have their place. They absolutely do. But when you look at a holistic marketing campaign, this data really leans to the notion that, news media advertising, when you're reaching an audience of high quality and quantity, should be the staple with, Google advertising and social media advertising and other extended digital services as a complement to the foundation of the campaign, which should be in trusted and credible news media advertising spaces. So, another aspect to consider is, the targeted nature of news media advertising. So given the diverse demographics of readers, advertisements can be tailored to, to different segments, which increases that advertisement's relevance and engagement. So for instance, an ad for home improvement services might resonate more with the 35 through 54 age group who are, likely homeowners or considering home renovations. So this targeted approach not only enhances the effectiveness of ads, but also ensures a higher return on investment for your advertisers. And luckily enough, as we look at the different industry categories in which our respondents say they'll be making purchases over the next 12 months, home improvement is at 54.39%, coming in third out of the different categories that we surveyed, with, of course, the top survey result being restaurant and bars. It's 79%. Local retail shops, who have been getting hurt, even as the world has kind of come back to this new normal post-COVID. Local retail shops are still hurting, and 69% of our respondents say they plan on visiting and making purchases from local shops in 2024, which is really great news. We're definitely happy to see that there's this new sense of normalcy there. And I don't want to forget about the quality and content of the ads themselves. So again, 46% of our readers say that they rate quality as the most important consideration in buying. So this preference for quality should be reflected in the advertisements themselves. The advertisements should show high quality, informative, and engaging ads and content that are more likely to capture the attention of our discerning readers and influence their purchasing decisions. So, as you can see, the impact of news media on purchasing behavior is significant, and it's multifaceted. It's about trust, it's about targeted advertising, and it's about quality content. So for advertising sales reps, these insights are not just data points, they're keys to unlocking more effective and more successful advertising campaigns. So now let's explore how to leverage these insights to enhance your advertising sales strategies. That'll help ensure that your ads not only reach the right audience, but also resonate with them and drive both engagement and sales. So we've explored the demographics of news media, and we've explored how these demographics are influenced by media in their purchasing behaviors. So let's focus on the most crucial part and how to leverage these insights to drive advertising sales. So again, first and foremost, I'm going to go back to 46.27% earning at least $75,000 annually. And a significant number of those readers are reading across print and digital platforms. So this knowledge allows you to position your advertising in a way that speaks directly to the demographics' interests and needs. So for example, luxury goods, financial services, high-end home improvement services, they're all likely to resonate well with this audience. And these services have dollars to spend. They need to get their message out to their community, and news media advertising is the perfect venue for that. So I want to talk again about trust. Trust is a major influencer in purchasing decisions. 60.45% say that they trust reading ads in local newspapers, and 50+% in local newspaper websites. So your advertising pitch should emphasize the credibility and trustworthiness of advertising in these two areas and how they compare to other big tech marketing vehicles like Google Ads and social media ads that combined don't even break 30% in trust. So highlighting this trust factor can be a compelling part of your sales narrative, especially when pitching to new clients who are already considering news media as a platform for their ads, maybe for the first time. So there'll be a lot of education that may need to be given to a prospect that's considering news media advertising. I also want to call out again that our survey shows that readers value quality, 46.11%. As their top consideration in buying. So this preference should be mirrored in the ads that you sell. You should encourage your clients to participate in the ad creation process to create high quality, informative, and engaging advertisements. Be their branding and messaging subject matter expert and help guide them on how to craft a message that not only captures the attention, but also aligns with the values and interests of the news media audience. It's amazing when you involve your client in the ad creative process. It's like asking them an open-ended question. It has the same value. You'll be able to see what they perceive within their product and service line as high quality compared to what you may believe would be the most marketable. The client will become much more invested in the idea of placing advertising, which, in a world where businesses are really holding their advertising dollars close to their chest, they can really, for lack of a better term, sell themselves out of the idea of advertising in, news media. And that would be a terrible mistake for businesses, because we're reaching such a trusted audience that are regular readers of a trusted advertising vehicle. So another key takeaway is the importance of a multi-platform advertising strategy. Since our audience engages with both print and online news, suggest to your clients to diversify their ad placements across both of these platforms. If your client wants to run on your website only, remind them that 60% of readers prefer news in print versus online. If your client wants to run in print only, remind them that half of the total readership also reads news media online. This approach not only increases their reach of the ads, but also caters to the varied reading habits of your audience, which will enhance the overall impact of your client's advertising campaign. And lastly, as a whole, from a data-driven sales approach, use this data from the survey to really help inform your sales approach. When you present potential clients with concrete statistics about reader habits and preferences, you're not just selling ad space. You're providing a solution based on solid evidence and data. And this data-driven approach can significantly boost your credibility and persuasiveness as an advertising sales executive. So, in conclusion, leveraging these insights, it means understanding your audience deeply, emphasizing the trust factor of news media to your prospects, tailoring the message to align with reader preferences, understanding, embracing, and adopting a multi-platform strategy, and using this data-driven approach in your sales process. By doing so, you can enhance the effectiveness of your advertising sales, you can meet the needs of your clients more effectively, and you can drive meaningful results in a very competitive landscape. So I hope you leave here today. If you're listening to this or watching this, I hope you have found some information that you can use to really help in your process. Always keep a lookout on our social channels for more information on other webinars that we will be doing throughout 2024, and drop us a line. Head to mddcadservices.com and drop us a line as to what you would like to see in terms of topics that we should be covering in 2024. Thanks, everyone. Five Dubs Marketing Pros is hosted by me, Kevin Berrier. Our executive producer is MDDC Executive Director Rebecca Snyder. Post-production by Caroline Pecora. Our theme music is by Azulu Studio. A special thank you to our guests for being with us. You can find Five Dubs and Five Dubs Marketing Pros on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast.